Hey, what's going on? I know it's been a while since I last posted. This post is not going to really be a unique post. It's going to be on QAnon posts from a year ago, from November 2017. Right now, we're about to enter November 2018. It's October 28th, but I think it'd be kind of neat to take a look back on what Q was posting back in 2017. And don't worry, this channel is not going to. I'm not going to become the guy that reads the Q posts, as is like a lot of other channels. And I'm glad those other channels are out there, because I do check in with them sometimes just to get people's analysis. I'm not going to provide any analysis here. Also, a friend of mine just sent this to me a couple days ago, concerned that QAnon may be dead. Who knows? It says, must be Chan dead. Notice in caps, must be Chan dead. Chandid. Now, the media is making fun of him for spelling things wrong. They love to do that. They did that to Dan Quayle, George W. Bush. They love to say, haha, you're so stupid. They love doing that. Except they're the joke's always on them. Trump always wins. But it's possible that Trump may be communicating that QAnon or Q or Chan may be dead, because Q has not posted, to my knowledge, since I think October 9th, right after the Kavanaugh hearing. Actually, it might have been a little bit before it concluded. And also the autocorrect on your phone, I just tested it myself. If you type in Chandid, it autocorrects to changed, which is the correct grammar here. But it says Chandid, and it looks like he wanted it to read Chandid. Someone posted this series of Q posts somewhere. I don't remember where I found it. I didn't even read it thoroughly, so I'm basically going to read this for the first time. I just remembered seeing a series of questions, and this drives home the point of this video. So I'm calling this video, well, actually, no, I'm going to call this one Q Post 2017. But there's going to be another video I make called Conspiracy Theorists or Truthers Believe in Unicorns, and they want a unicorn. And as long as they do that, they're going to be miserable. And what I mean by that is, people want the white knight. They want like this perfect truther that's going to be 100% perfect. Like, they get mad at Donald Trump for not following their personal extreme agenda line for line. And it's like they want everything to be their way. And you got to realize sometimes you got to compromise, and you got to do things aren't just, you can't have everything your way. And if you're mad at Trump just for that one thing, and you disregard all the other good stuff, and same with like QAnon, they want Q to be this perfect thing. And for me, and I said this in my video, I made a video called How to Be a Good Conspiracy Theorist. My point is to learn what you can from something. You don't have to put your 100% faith in somebody. It's like Alex Jones is even a better example. And again, they call Jones a Zionist shill, so therefore you can't learn from Alex Jones. Everybody discounts, and Q is against Alex Jones as well. And basically people write Alex Jones off as a shill, but they forget. Everybody forgets. Alex Jones is the one that brought the majority of people into truthing. So just because he didn't pan out the way you wanted him to pan out, doesn't mean he doesn't have value. I still listen to Alex Jones periodically. I don't listen to Alex Jones every day. When I listen, I don't listen to the full 3 hours. But when stuff happens, I check in to see what Alex Jones is talking. Actually, I go to InfoWars, probably once a day. And when I say I go to InfoWars, I'm not saying that like I go to InfoWars and believe the headlines. I just go to see how the information war is being waged. That's all I'm trying to do. I don't believe any news source. I don't believe Fox News. I don't believe Drudge. I don't believe InfoWars. I don't believe Zero Hedge. I don't believe Breitbart, but I don't not believe them. The truth is somewhere in between. Now, obviously, I do check CNN every day. I do check MSNBC every day, just to see what kind of lies and fake news they're pushing. And when I call MSNBC and CNN fake news, that doesn't mean that Fox is truth news, right? They're all fake news. But right now, CNN, have you seen CNN? CNN is like upside down world. So I just go to see, I really just check in on them just to make sure that they're still losing. And they're still pushing fake news. So they're losing. Q doesn't have to be Jesus, okay? Q is training you how to think. So this is a year ago. Look at how Q trains our minds. And again, I'm not being like the guy that thinks Q is like Charlie Brown believes in the pumpkin, the great pumpkin. Q is not the end all be all, but let me let you know why Q matters to me. So just like I say, I could watch Alex Jones. I love Alex Jones. I don't believe everything Alex Jones says. I'm not basing my life on Alex Jones, but I love Alex Jones for what he's done. He's woken up so many people. Same with David Icke. I look at David Icke and I'm like, man, I hope I don't end up an angry, unsatisfied conspiracy theorist as an old man. Alex Jones is doing just fine. He's doing his passion. Jones isn't happy unless he's hyperventilating. My point to say that I love these guys is that they wake you up. They bring you in. They're the recruiters. Eventually, you graduate out of Alex Jones and David Icke University, and that's good. You move on. But they got you there. They got you thinking. And Q has created a movement of truthing. And, it's called the Great Awakening. And that's what is needed. I don't need everything to be 100% legit and perfect. No conspiracy theorist is, no truther is. I just need it to put thoughts in my mind. And in that previous video I made, I showed how Q introduces concepts. So in these, from what I see in these Q posts, Q trains you how to ask some of the right questions. So this post here is from November 11, 2017. Hard to swallow, important to progress. Who are the puppet masters? Now again, Q, this is basically going to a conservative audience that was once misled by the Bushes, believed in the war on terror. And since Trump, this is part of the Trump administration to me, the QAnon phenomenon. And it's re-educating, it's getting people up to speed on the truth that they've missed. So to ask questions like, who are the puppet masters? Because they wouldn't ask those questions in the past. So this is presenting ways to interrogate reality to people that may not have done this before. So who are the puppet masters? House of Saud, 6+++. I don't know what the pluses mean. 4 trillion plus. Rothschild, 6++, 2 trillion plus. Soros, 6+, 1 trillion plus. Focus on above, 3. Public wealth disclosures, false. So that's a good point. Bill Gates is not the richest man in the world, or Warren Buffett, or Jeff Bezos. Those are just the guys you see. Old money, those are the people you never hear of. Focus on above. Public wealth disclosures, false. Many governments of the world feed the eye, all-seeing eye. Think slush funds, feeder. Think war, feeder. Think environmental pacts. Include global warming bullcrap. And anyway, triangle has 3 sides. Eye of providence, follow the bloodlines. What is the keystone? Does Satan exist? Does the thought of Satan exist? Who worships Satan? What is a cult? Epstein Island. What is a temple? What occurs in a temple? Worship? Why is the temple on top of a mountain? How many levels might exist below? What is the significance of the colors, design, and symbol of the dome? Of the dome. Of the dome. Why is this relevant? Who are the puppet masters? Second time asked. Have the puppet masters traveled to this island? When? How often? Why? Vladimir Putin. The New World Order worships Satan. Q. That was all in one Q drop. It's a lot of questions right there. Now, I think part of the queuing, like I'm not doing this Q thing right because I should be answering these questions, but I don't really have answers. I mean, I have the conspiracy theory answers, and I think you guys do too. My point is to show, like when I look at the news, to understand how I do this. In this other video I made called Media Manipulation Terms, I talked about selective exposure. And I know that not only the media, but society at large only exposes you to certain concepts. And but I know of many concepts that aren't part of the public knowledge. And I wait to see when these concepts are given permission. I made a video about you were given permission to talk about certain things. And so now with Q, these once gate kept concepts are now starting to come out through Q. And that's what I'm always looking for. It's about the Pandora's box. I have a series of videos called Pandora's Box on this channel, and it's where these new concepts get leaked out into the consciousness. Because through selective exposure, they selectively expose you to information and withhold and remove and shove down the memory hole and vanish the inconvenient information. So that's what I'm always on the lookout for, is when I do my truthing, I'm not like trying to find the white knight, the holy unicorn. I know the unicorn doesn't exist. It can't exist. And I look to see what is blown out into the public for consumption. And the reason I say that is I already have my truth. So I'm just waiting to see when my truth makes it out there onto the TV. Because when I say it to people, it never gets through their head. Same things I say, once they appear on television, suddenly it becomes the truth. So I just sit back and wait and watch. I plant the seeds and then it comes out. So I'm just waiting. I'm always waiting to see when they allow you to have permission to think my thoughts. All right, this is another Q post from the same day, 11/11/17. Notice the time. 1 minute and 2 seconds. Actually, no, 2 seconds away from the next day. So 11:29. I thought it said 11:59. Why were the events in SA extraordinary? And I think SA is Saudi Arabia. And I think this was the time period when Trump was there with the red carpet and he touched the crystal ball. And it's also the time when the Ariana Grande, maybe that was 2 years ago. I can't remember. The Ariana Grande, when Trump was in Saudi Arabia, the concert in England got bombed. Anyway, who was arrested? What will bank records provide? List names, family history, investment, ownership stakes, and point-to-point contacts. And again, there's other Q posters on YouTube that have probably gone through this in depth. I'm just reading this because it's a year later. I want to see how because a lot of times Q talks about things that are going to happen in the future. So that's why we're going through this. All right, list names, family history, investment, ownership stakes, and point-to-point contacts. Alaweed, Huma, Barack Obama, Citigroup, U.S. control. Why is this relevant? House of Saud, U.S. control. Follow the money. What power shift recently occurred? Was a new king appointed? Coincidence? Dark to light? Why is this relevant? One side of the triangle. Okay, so he's saying, why is this relevant? Because one side of the triangle is removed for the first time in history. Other sides are falling. Plus, 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 plus Q. So one side of the triangle was removed. All right, another drop from the same day, around 11:31 p.m. Rothschild owned and controlled banks. I'm not going to read all these banks here, but I think what this list was to show was probably that it's like every country in the world except, well, hey, look at that. Cuba's on the list now. I think the only ones missing were Iran. North Korea. Is North Korea on this list? See, oh no, Iran's on there. What about North Korea? Is it with the People's Republic of North Korea? Okay, it's not there. I don't think North Korea's on here, and I don't think Syria. Notice there's no Syria. And so you got this in this Q post, the Fed and the IRS. Fact, U.S. Federal Reserve is a privately owned company sitting on its very own patch of land immune to U.S. laws. And so you get this Q post, you know Q is tied to Trump, and people still get mad at Trump for not doing everything that he possibly could. And today is the 28th, and you know if you follow Q, you know the last post that Q did was from October 9, and he explains why things go slowly because they're trying to undo like 60 years of unchecked deep state. Give Trump some time. Trump said in one of his campaign speeches, everything you ever wanted to have happen is going to happen, and I'll never let you down. So I trust in Trump. I'll tell you what. I may not trust in Q, but I trust in Trump. I don't care. I trust in Trump. I put it all on Trump. I trust in Trump. And until he proves otherwise, I'm 100% behind Trump. I've seen like 45 Trump rallies, and it still doesn't get old. I love Trump. If you don't like Trump and you think, I don't care what you think. I love Trump. I love Trump. I have tons of reasons to love Trump. And they all have to do with truthing. They have nothing to do with the TV version of Trump. So let's see this one. This is from the same day, 11/11. List of Republicans in the House and Senate who have announced they will not seek re-election. Bob Corker, Charlie Dent, Jeff Flake, that tied to the Kavanaugh, Lynn Jenkins, Sam Johnson, Raul Labrador, Frank Lobiondo, Tim Murphy. Why is this relevant? Reread crumbs. Wealth over generations by... Okay, this is from the same day. Man, this 11/11 day, Q was off the hook. Wealth over generations, old money, buys power. Power over generations, old money, buys more wealth and control. More wealth and control buys countries and its people. Families combined, tri equals NWO. Tri, I guess, is that Trilateral Commission? Inner tri families will collapse. What is the keystone? What nation dominates all others? What nation has influence over most others? What is the keystone? Return to Saudi Arabia. Strings cut. Plus, plus, plus. Puppets. Plus, plus, plus. In shadows. Each side of the triangle controls a certain subsect of power brokers. Power brokers are also labeled as the puppet servants. What is the New World Order? Why did the president receive a sword dance when visiting Saudi Arabia? Why did the POTUS receive a sword dance when visiting Saudi Arabia? That's a great question. I don't even know what a sword dance is. Like, what's the significance of a sword dance? What does this mean culturally? Why is this relevant? What occurred in Saudi Arabia? And maybe I'm hoping SA is Saudi Arabia. Maybe it's South America. Maybe it's Southeast Asia. I don't know, but I'm guessing Saudi Arabia. How did POTUS remove one side of the pyramid? What did POTUS receive while visiting China? Where did POTUS dine? What is the significance? What if China, Russia, and others are coordinating with POTUS to eliminate the New World Order? Imagine that. China, Russia, China. And they're all coordinating with the POTUS to eliminate the New World Order. And they're both nationalist countries. Russia's nationalist and China is at the National Republic of China. Who controls North Korea? Who really controls North Korea? So who controls North Korea? It's not Kim Jong-un. Who really controls North Korea? I'm guessing China. Again, I don't want to be answering these questions. I'm not qualified. Who controls several agencies within the U.S., EU, and abroad? And again, look at all these questions. See, Q offers the questions, and questioning reality, questioning is so important. And he's making this popular. Who controls several... Okay, why is no such agency so vital? So I guess no such agency is NSA. Enormous scale of events currently ongoing. Why is Russia helping to kill ISIS? This is not easy to accept nor believe. Crumbs make bread. Operations active. Joint missions underway. The world is fighting back. Refer back to graphic. The Great Awakening. Snow White. Iron Eagle. Jason Bourne. 2016. I guess I should see that movie. This was a pretty interesting post. I mean, you'd have to agree there, right? All right, man. 11/11, still going hard. This is now 11:53. Rogue operators are here. Failed to shut down site. Protected. This will only get worse. Archive and coordinate. Crumbs dropped will soon paint the full picture. The picture will open the eyes of the world. We can't do it without you. God bless you all. Q. So, I mean, do we have the full picture? I don't think yet. I think it's still coming. We're getting real close to that election. If we get a red wave, I think we're going to find out. All right, so this is the next day, 11/12, at around 12:16 p.m. How did Soros replace Family Y? Who is Family Y? Trace the bloodlines of these three families. What happened during World War II? Was Hitler a puppet? Who was his handler? What was the purpose? What was the real purpose of the war? What age was George Soros? What is the Soros family history? What has occurred since the fall of North Germany? Isn't it East Germany? Who is Angela Merkel? What is Angela Merkel's family history? Follow the bloodline. Oh yeah, that one came out recently. I can't remember who she was related to. It was kind of crazy. Who died on the Titanic? What year did the Titanic sink? Why is this relevant? What exactly happened to the Titanic? What class of people were guaranteed a lifeboat? Why did select individuals not make it into the lifeboats? Why is this relevant? How do we know who was on the lifeboats? D or A? How were names and bodies recorded back then? What were tickets purchased for her maiden voyage? Or when? When were tickets purchased for her maiden voyage? Who was specifically invited? Less than 10? What is the Fed? What does the Fed control? Who controls the Fed? Who approved the formation of the Fed? Why did H. Wood glorify Titanic as a tragic love story? Who lived in the movie What Man? Why is this relevant? The opposite is true. What is brainwashing? What is a psyop? What happened to the Hindenburg? What really happened to the Hindenburg? Who died during the accident? Why is this relevant? What are sheep? Who controls the narrative? The truth would put 99% of people in the hospital. The truth would put 99% of people in the hospital. It must be controlled. Snow White, Iron Eagle, Jason Bourne, CIA Dream, Q. Lots of great questions there. And you know, the Titanic, I just saw an article recently that they're going to do a new Titanic. Same day, a couple minutes later. So this one was at 12:16. This one drops at 12:23. There are a bunch out there. Here is one. The CIA has 7 supercomputers, and they are all named after the 7 dwarfs from Snow White. Doc, Dopey, Bashful, Grumpy, Sneezy, Sleepy, and Happy. So there's your Snow White reference. All right, 11:12. Confirmed. Go deeper. Signatures are important. Same day, 2 hours later. Patriots don't sleep. 40,000 feet v necessary to understand U.S. Saudi Arabia global events. Paint the picture. Decrease altitude. We will not fly that high again. Higher the altitude, greater the risk of conspiracy ST. Many will not swallow. What is NSA? Q Group or no such agency? Q Group? Who has clearance to full picture? I think this is where Trump took over the NSA. Who has clearance to the full picture? And actually, that's a great question. Who has clearance to the full NSA picture? Imagine having all the surveillance information. Important. SIS is good. ADMR with a bunch of pluses. What agency is at war with clowns in America? That's CIA, I guess. How does POTUS shift narrative? New age of enlightenment. 80% covert, 20% public. What has occurred over the last several months? See info leaks. Operations. Think Saudi Arabia plus question. CNN sale. What COs receive large cash injections by CIA? Why? Who does it hurt? Who controls the mainstream media? Primary objective from beginning, POTUS was to discredit the mainstream media. Why is this relevant? How is information transmitted? Media. How are people informed? Why was Sarah A.C. hack attempt? Why was Operation Mockingbird repeated? Why was Jason Bourne CIA Dream repeated? Think social media platforms. Who are the wizards and warlocks? What council do the wizards and warlocks control? Think Snowden. Inside terms dropped. Alice in Wonderland. Understood. Snow White. Understood. Iron Eagle. Godfather 3. Speed. Everything has meaning. Disney is a distraction. Senate and Congress equals puppets. Not all. Power shift. For God and country. For humanity. Geronimo. Lots of questions. And, the other part is you could say a lot through a question. He's just asking questions. 11:12. Now it's another couple hours later. Warning, this is not a game. Direct attack today by New York Times, Clowns in America, CIA. New York Times, shadow brokers. Do you believe in coincidences? How many coincidences do you need before you believe? This is the biggest insider drop in the history of the world. Pray. Q. Okay, a little bit later. This is a direct attack. The article is disinfo, but made to send a message to POTUS. You are witnessing history. Coincidence? God be with us all. If you're watching this video, feel free to drop any comments you want about any of this stuff below. Like if I'm not answering the questions, feel free to answer them how you like. Drop anything. All right, same day, a little bit later, New York Times CIA article released today. Q Group is a direct attack warning. What is being dropped here? Read between the lines. Why was the article published today? POTUS has been briefed. New measures active and in place. Update the graphic. Godspeed. Drops American flag. So I don't really intend anything by this other than to promote Q, but also to say that you don't need a unicorn. Just take the info from wherever you can get it and do whatever it is you want with it. The distress call to others will do your family no good at this stage. We know where your family are at all times and can hear you breathing. That's from the 13th. Nice. It's a nice little threat. How do you capture a very dangerous animal? This is on the 14th. Do you attack it from the front? Do you walk through the front door? Do you signal ahead of time you will be attacking? Remember, Trump always talked about the element of surprise? How do you distinguish between good and bad? Who do you trust to keep secrets? How do you prevent leaks? What a great question. Who do you trust to complete the mission? How do you prevent warnings being sent? Why is ADMR so important? Why was the source code to former NSA collection Ps publicly released? How do you blind the clowns in America? What was Snowden's primary mission? What was Snowden's real primary mission? And again, he might be limited hangout. Was Snowden truly acting on his own? Nothing is as it appears. What show is being put on by AG Sessions since his confirmation? What show is being put on by POTUS since AG Sessions' confirmation? Why was AG Sessions' confirmation challenged heavily? And again, I think this is Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Why was AG Sessions' confirmation challenged heavily? Why was Rod Rosenstein's confirmation smooth and easy? Why was Sessions challenged? Why was Rosenstein smooth and easy? What was the vote count for Rosenstein? Why did Sessions recuse himself? Why is this relevant? What group has vocally supported RM repeatedly? How do you capture a very dangerous animal? Who is best to conduct the attack? What is the one force necessary to retain control? Why does the U.S. military play such a vital role in this global game of risk? What is money without power? Why did POTUS depart Manila 30 minutes ahead of schedule? Why is Air Force One landing in Hawaii? Does Air Force One have in-air refueling ability? Nothing is as it appears. What was the D.C. vote breakdown between Trump and Clinton? That vote breakdown? D.C. voted like 99%. It was something insane for Clinton. Look it up. Look at the vote totals. It was so tilted for Clinton. The swamp voted against Trump and for Clinton. What is the nickname for D.C.? The swamp. Why would sealed indictments be outside of D.C. jurisdiction? What purpose would this serve? Why are judicial appointments being rapidly completed? Who can you trust? Have faith, patriots. Again from the 14th. Did anyone saw this in the vid? I think this is when Trump gave that hint about Q. Isn't that curious? What's below? There's a lot of videos on this out there. Okay, so now we're talking November 14. Still the same day there. For the coming days ahead, ask yourself an honest question. Why would a billionaire who has it all, fame, fortune, a warm and loving family, friends, etc., want to endanger himself and his family by becoming POTUS? Why would he want to target himself and those he cares about? Does he need money? Does he need fame? What does he get out of this? Does he want to make the U.S. world a better place for his family and for those good and decent people who have long been taken advantage of? Perhaps he could not stomach the thought of mass murders occurring to satisfy Moloch. Perhaps he could not stomach the thought of children being kidnapped, drugged, and raped, while leaders, law enforcement of the world turn a blind eye. Perhaps he was tired of seeing how certain races and countries were being constantly abused and kept in need, poor, and suffering, all for a specific purpose. Perhaps he could not in good conscience see the world burn. Why, hours after the election, 7 people traveled to an undisclosed location to hold a very private and highly secured guarded meeting. Why didn't Hillary give a concession speech? Why was the last time a presidential candidate didn't personally give a concession speech? What happens if the border remained open and the mainstream media continued to brainwash? At what point do patriots and hardworking men and women become the minority? What about voting machines? Who owns the voting machines? What about voter ID laws? Photo ID? When is it necessary and must be presented? Make a list, laugh, reconcile. Would the chances of defeating evil grow less and less with each passing year? What does red line mean? Why, again, were the arrests made in Saudi Arabia so very important? What strings were immediately cut? Follow the money. When does a bird sing? I probably should have been saying SA instead of Saudi Arabia, just in case it's not Saudi Arabia. Who financed 9/11? Who was bin Laden's handler? Why was the CIA tasked to hunt, kill, capture Osama bin Laden? Why not MI? If we found UBL, eliminated his security, why would we immediately kill him and not take him alive? Why wouldn't we want to capture UBL alive and extract other possible T-level events? Perhaps someday people will understand they had a plan to conduct another mass extinction event. World War I and II, orchestrated and planned by select families? Fantasyland. Remember, the more people there are, the more power the people have. Why do these Democrats push for gun control directly after every tragic incident? Why is this so very important to their agenda? We, the people, are who they are afraid of. We, the people, are who they fear will one day awake. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Bunker, apple, yellow sky. Yes, Godspeed. And I think that's where I think that's where I found this. The bunker, apple, yellow sky. A friend tweeted that to me the other day to take a look into it. There's a whole bunch of people trying to decipher bunker, apple, yellow sky. But again, none of this was to say anything specific. It's to promote the QAnon movement, the Great Awakening, where we go one, we go all. Trump, the red wave, MAGA. And I like that we call red, vote red MAGA. We don't call it vote Republican. We're saying vote red, vote MAGA, vote Trump, vote Q. I've already voted. I voted MAGA all down the ballot. I hope so bad we have a red wave. I hope Trump gets to continue along with Q to make America great again. And if you're a conspiracy theorist that's looking for, or a truther looking for the white knight, the perfect unicorn, you're never going to find the perfect unicorn. The unicorn does not exist. How can Trump please everybody? He can't. He's pleased me 100%, because I got way more than I thought I was going to get out of Trump. In fact, I remember thinking, man, it'll be so phenomenal if Trump actually gets to be president. Because I know Trump's mind, because his mind is so much like mine. And it's not the brash stuff that you see on TV. It's his strategy. It's his multi-dimensional chess moves. So I love Trump. I'm loving this QAnon phenomenon. Whatever Q turns out to be is irrelevant. These questions that he proposes, and this is just 3 days from the 11th to the 14th. Look at all these posts and all these questions proposed. You know what this does? Like, to us truthers, this is, it's like, all this. You know how to ask these questions. But now a wider audience is being presented with these questions, and it's not so much these questions, it's the critical thinking. This is how you become a critical thinker, and that should be our new, conspiracy theorist CT, critical thinking CT. We're critical thinkers, and Q is training people how to critically think, because most of us have gotten it from the media and from established perspectives that don't train you to question. They just force feed you information. Is Q force feeding anything? He's questioning. He's offering critical thinking questions. And he doesn't require you to believe anything. He just presents the questions. That's what this is all about. So Alex Jones, if you get mad that Alex Jones doesn't follow your politics 100%, you're doing it wrong, not Alex Jones. And I know Alex Jones is listed as a trader pawn on the QAnon, the QPub, the QMap.pub site. Doesn't matter. Alex Jones delivered his mission. So I'm not mad at Jones. I'm definitely not mad at Q. I'm not mad at Trump. I love Trump. I love Trump so much. Thank God for Trump. Dude, thank God for Trump. That's all I got to say. Imagine if Hillary won. I mean, if you're like saying, I can't believe John's such a Trump fanatic, did you not look at these questions here? Just these 3 days of questions. If Hillary would have won, oh my God. Thank the Lord for Trump. And as Alex Jones said on election night, he said, you don't ask God for providence and not deliver.
But if we now don't deliver, you don't ask God for providence and then not deliver. Now we are bound forever. And if we don't deliver this plan and free humanity.
And so we got to deliver a red wave on election day. I've done everything I can. No, you know what? I didn't do enough. I could have done more. But I'm doing what I can right now to deliver the red wave, to deliver the providence, to give Trump everything he needs to save the world. So, hey, I love Trump. I hope you do too. But if you don't, that's fine. And I know the reason why you probably don't love Trump. And I don't think you're thinking the 5 dimensions through. You got to believe that Trump operates in 5 dimensions. I know he does. I do. Actually, I'm nowhere on Trump's level. Trump's energy level is, I get exhausted just watching. I wish I had his energy, the dragon energy. But here's Q. These are the questions. This is how to critically think. Don't believe in unicorns. They do not exist. Take what you can. Consume what you wish. Discard what you don't like. But get the critical thinking out of it. As I said in the other video, breadcrumbs, and even Q says it, crumbs, the breadcrumbs are all here. You have to put the picture together. Do you want it just spoon-fed? If you want it spoon-fed, you are not a truther. You're not a conspiracy theorist. You're doing it wrong. It's about taking the questions, the breadcrumbs, and putting together the bigger picture for your own truth. Because we all have our own truth. So, anyway, if you want to follow Q, if you're not already following Q, he hasn't posted in 3 weeks. But the two places I go to are qposts.online and qmap.pub. Yeah, you could go to 8chan and all that, but why go through that when you could just go to qpost.online or qmap.pub. Thanks for watching. Oh, and I intend on making a bunch of new videos going forward. My travels have concluded, and I just have to finish up the Linux. That's about it. But thanks for sticking with me through my absence, and I'll see you guys in the next video.